You're now listening to. It's the Big of Fat Show. It's the Big of Fat Show. It's the Big of Fat. The Big of Fat. It's the Big of Fat Show. It's the Big of Fat Show. It's the Big of Fat Show. Big of Fat. It's the Big of Fat Show. Hey, it's the Big of Fat Show. Hey, it's the Big of Fat. The Big of Fat. Lady Flanagan. It's the Big of Fat Show. Hey, it's the Big of Fat Show. Come on, it's the Big of Fat. With the Big of Fat. It's the Big of Fat Show. It's the Big of Fat Show. Come on, it's the Big of Fat Show. It's the Big of Fat. Big of Fat. It's the Big of Fat Show. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Y'all know what it is. Come on, come on. Big of Fat. Lisa Flanagan. Now she's dead.
Am I clear? Can anyone hear me? Please let me know if okay, I think we have it fixed now. I think we're good. Thank you, Marcus, my man from Mixed Station Radio. Thank you. Appreciate your help. So again, if you need any clean outs, ready to move into your new apartment, anyone who needs foreclosure clean out before you move and move out, we are here, Futures World, ready to come to you. Let us know if you want free estimates. You can hit us up on the number on the card or email us at futuresworld at 9520@gmail.com. Thank you. And I also want to thank my handsome husband, who I love so much, for supporting me in this. I thank him every day because he is truly a gift from God to me. I love my husband so much, and there is nothing that he will not help me with. He is like my number one fan, and I am very grateful to have him on, watching me, helping me, seeing me through all of these things. So I'm excited. Also, if you all haven't seen the video about my ELB, our ELB, Each One Bless, where we had a short video speaking on, the people in West Africa, India, how we want to help start supporting them. If you haven't had a chance to look at that video, please look at the video. So going forward, I just want to give a few shout outs. Hey, Sheila, Alexis. Hey, Clinton. Glad to see all of you. Angela, my sister, my cousin Angie. I'm glad to see each and every one of you. Jojo Wilder, my friend. How are you? Everyone can hear me. I can hear my sister. Can you hear me now, sister? My sister Tanya's on. So I am so glad. I'm going to give everyone a few more minutes. Erlene, good to see you. I'm going to continue to give everyone a few minutes to get on because we have a very, very wonderful show tonight. Hello, Debbie Jones. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. Yes, I am so excited tonight. My topic is going to be amazing. It's going to be dating while separated. I would really love to know what you all think about that topic. So I'm going to give you a second to digest while I'm letting everyone else come on in. Come on. Hey, Mac, my big sister, Mac. Hello, hello, hello. I'm so excited. You have to bear with me. I've been doing so much today, ripping and running all day. So I am trying to calm my nerves down so I can, take it down a bit. Okay. My friend Alexis, good to see you. Can't wait to see you again. Hopefully we can get to go out one day while we're still in this pandemic. Hopefully we can just meet up and have a brunch or something. I would love to do that because I miss you. So with that being said, I do want to start speaking. I want to speak on a few things about dating while separated. Would you? Should you? Could you? What do you think? I really want to know your inputs on that. Meaning, do you believe that it's okay for married people to still go out on dates, although they're separated? I have my own opinion about it, but I need to hear your opinion about it. I'm not always correct. Like I said, this is just a show for real talks all day. I'm not saying that I'm 100% right with anything because that's not the case. It's just a great dialogue to help someone who may be going through something in this area. So with that being said, I really want to know what you think about dating someone that's married, but they're separated. Hello, Erlene. How are you? So with that being said, okay, 1 second. Oh, thank you. I needed that. Sorry.
Hold just 1 minute.
It's Minute Maid watermelon. Don't This is Minute Maid watermelon. Don't I know the glass. Don't ask me why my husband put it in this glass, but it's water.
I am delivered.
Don't do that. I promise you guys, it's watermelon. Minute Maid watermelon. Trust me. Marcus.
You can't handle the truth.
I can. Y'all better know it's the truth. That's all I'm going to say. You guys better know that it's the truth. I'm sorry, Marcus. See, he's starting already, but sorry. But anyway, back to the topic at hand, Marcus. So what I would like to talk about is married people who are separated, but still choose to date. My opinion, I don't think it's fair because what happens if that married person decides to go back home? He done started a whole relationship on the other side, but still decide to go back home. And it happens with females too. I'm not just speaking only on the men, but women too have a whole relationship on the other side, but then later on down the line, you decide to go back home. Sometimes people go out because they think the grass is greener and it's not. Sometimes people just get fed up and want to end the relationship, but don't know how to cut it off. So what do a lot of us do? Start arguments, become very petty, and want to just because you want to go hang out. And a lot of men, y'all used to be known for that, but now women doing it too now. Unfortunately, they're doing it too. But I really think it's a bad idea to start a relationship on the other side where people will catch feelings. Hi, baby. That's my hubby on the line. I love you too, baby. Thank you. But I really would like to know what you think about dating someone that's still married. Just because they say they're separated doesn't mean, in my eyes, they're not available. If you want to be available to someone, then you need to go get a divorce. I don't think it's fair if you put a person in that situation to start catching feelings, dating you, and thinking something's going to happen between you and them, and nothing happens. I think that's the worst thing. So before you keep jumping out, I'm single, we've been separated, I live upstairs, she lives downstairs, or he lives downstairs and she's upstairs. Come on, stop. There are still relations that's going on, I'm sure. Maybe not with everyone, but I know that there are a few people with relationships still going on. So with that being said, I really want to take the time out and basically give you a little dialogue on some people that I've been counseling who's going through this right now, because they're assuming something's going to come out of this. And guess what? It's not. You've been holding on to this person for 2 years. 2 years. And now, guess what? He's going back home. He's going back home. So now what do you do? What do you do? You're hurt. You're broken. And this is how a lot of people end up in jail. And I hate to say it. You have people who will sit up here and kill people. And if I can't have you, he can't have you. If she can't, no one can have you but me. There's a lot of people out here who are dealing with that right now. And it's sad and it's unfortunate, but it's happening. You, even with the younger generation, you see them too. Young girls getting shot by young guys because they don't want anyone else to have that person either. Why must we go through that? If a person does not want to be bothered, let them go. Let them go. If you want to go out here and date, guess what? Get a divorce. It's a lot of mental people out here that go through these things. And guess what? They will come knocking on your door, going after people that you know just because you left them. It's your responsibility to end a relationship. If you're already in a relationship, end one. End it. My friend Marion, she says, Marion Crocker, she says, I have gone out with men that were separated but didn't want to date them. You see, be true, be real. Let's really jump out here and let's make it plain. If you want a divorce, get a divorce. Don't leave her hanging on, and women, don't leave him hanging on. Don't go out here getting side pieces, side chicks, and things of that. Come on, we're too old for that. We're too grown for that. Let's stop. There's too many heartbroken people out here who are not healed because of this. They are not healed because they are assuming, okay, it's just a break. It's just a pass for a second. But guess what? It's not. You're hurting people and they're damaged. And some people haven't even come back off of that yet. Speaking to men and women that I do a small consultation with certain men and women, and listening to them, they are really heartbroken. They are devastated because they assumed they had something that they really didn't have. Exactly, Erlene. Erlene, stop leading others on. And you should. You're too old. You're too grown. You need to stop. I don't like to hear the hurt and the pain in people's voices. It bothers me. But to a certain degree, should we hold them responsible a little bit for allowing it to allow it to happen for so long? Are you really going to sit around and wait till your husband come back 2 years later when he's finished doing whatever he wants to do out in the street and find out the grass isn't greener? Should we wait for that? I want to know. Same thing with men. Are you going to continue to wait for her until she finished clubbing and playing with her girlfriends, hanging out in the streets all hours of the night? Are you going to continue to wait for that? So yes, they're wrong for continuing to lead you on. But at the end of the day, should you hold some responsibility to that for allowing it to take place for so long? My husband says, what if the person is separated and they know the marriage is over? There is no reconciliation. Some people avoid signing those papers to keep the other party from moving forward. Okay, I've seen that happen and I've heard that has happened. But guess what? You can still push certain papers through the courts to get that divorce granted. If you know there's no reconciliation, the judge will still grant that divorce. If the other people don't want to show up, guess what? They don't have to, because guess what? I did that. I had the same thing happen to me, whereas though my ex-husband did not want to sign the papers. But guess what? When the court date came, guess what? The judge granted me my divorce because one, he did not show up. and we already rescheduled it twice. So it can be done. You don't have to sit around and say, well, he hasn't filed or she hasn't filed. I think, I'm just waiting for her to file. No, if you want a divorce, you file. You don't have to wait to see who's going to file first. This is why you should not date anyone else until you are divorced, because anything can happen whereas though you guys may reconcile and the other person left on the side hurt. So that's just my personal opinion. I'm not saying that I'm right, but that's just the way I see it. I'm not saying that I'm always correct. These are just my thoughts, but your thoughts could be different. You may be okay with the fact of going out with somebody else's husband, because guess what? He's still somebody else's property, whether you want to believe it or not. You could turn a blind eye. You could think that it's all about you, but technically it's not. He still belongs to her and she still belongs to him. Come on, let's wake up on that part. Shake that off. Because the issue that I have is that women, we have to start respecting each other's relationships. If a married man is coming to you and you know he's married, send him on his merry way. It's up to you to keep these brothers and these sisters in line. You don't want it to happen to you. So guess what? Don't do it to another sister or brother. Don't do it, because that pain is damaging. It's very damaging. So wake up. Let's get on one accord and start respecting one another. All of that. If you know he's married, stop entertaining him. I know everyone says flirting is harmless. That's not always true. It can be harmless. You may think it, maybe in your case it's not, but guess what? It's harmless. It's not harmless. It hurts. Because if you go out here and find out that your man is out here flirting with another woman because you're out here flirting, you're going to feel some kind of way. Women, we're going to feel some kind of way because we don't play that game. And men, you don't play that game either, because guess what? You guys are too visual. You will start visualizing all types of things. All these things. Yes, sisters play games too. I'm not just saying men. Some sisters play it better than the brothers, and that's the truth. They know how to play the game better than the brothers, and that's the sad part. When men, you think you're doing something, trust and believe that sister's already ahead of you. My mom says that is the problem. We don't respect the relationships of others, and that's so true. They don't. I hear some women in hair salons stating, oh, I don't care that he's married. I can always kick him back to his wife when I'm done with. And that's not cute. If you think that is cute, you have a major problem, because guess what? One day you're going to get married too. And what comes around goes around. And I'm a firm believer in that. So keep your hands and your business out of other people's relationships. Stay in your own. It's sad that we have to say things like that, but it's a real thing that needs to be said. Because I'm telling, for me, I don't have time to be nobody else's for me. I don't have time to be somebody else, anyone's halftime, downtime, spare time, and wasting my time. I'm not going to be that. But if that works for you, then great. I can't tell you what to do with your life, but I'm going to say, stay in your marriage. If you find that it's not doable for you and you have to let it go, then guess what? Release her. Or females, release him. You have to show respect. Exactly. Debbie Jones. Exactly. Respect each other goes a long way. Respect. And I agree with that 100%. So I want to know, these are my thoughts. What do you think? Do you think it's okay to date someone that's separated? Because some of you may disagree with me, and that's okay. This is just a dialogue that we all come on one accord. We're just having a good time with dialogue and having real conversations with real people. Like I said, I'm not the one to judge anyone, and I'm not here to judge. We're not here to judge. We're just here to just shake some things up. Shake some things up and get your mind right. Respect yourself and love yourself. That's all I want you to do. Ladies, we know some of us have these bodies and we forever showing every bit and pieces of no matter what we wear, we're showing it all. But sometimes, come on, tone it down just a tad bit. It's okay to be sexy, but be grown and sexy. Don't be trashy and sexy. Don't be raunchy and sexy. It's not cute. Trust me, it's not. Guys will look at you for a moment, but guess what? Once they do what they want to do, it's another piece that they already had. It's the same thing, just a different shape. So women, respect yourselves, love yourself more. You don't always have to jump out here and show everything that God has given you. You don't always have to do that. Exactly. Elder Jackson, thank you. Respect yourself and love yourself. Always. We have to start doing that as women, because a lot of us just don't care and have that I don't care attitude about the next woman. And it hurts my heart that women are out here like that. And we're supposed to be together and we're supposed to stick together. You want us to do all these other things together, but we can't respect each other's relationships. Come on, stop it. And men the same way. I hear guys say, hey, he broke the bro code, whatever the bro code is. But I hear that a lot from guys. Oh, that's messed up. He broke the bro code. He knows I used to mess with her. And that's what they say. Exactly. Truth. Exactly. And some people can't, right, Joe? I agree. People, but some people can't respect that person and others can't respect back. But you know what? And at the same time, think about it. If a female is coming on to you as a married man, you have a responsibility to turn away from that and respect your own wife. If you're not going to respect your own wife, then you have the problem. And women, stop fighting over these men who are allowing these things to take place. And same thing, women, stop fighting women over a man that you think is yours. If he's showing you all the signs that he's not yours, guess what? He's not yours. Back up. If he want to run free, let him run free. If he wants to be wild, then be wild. Be wild. Exactly, Mom. Reciprocate is real. Exactly. It is. It's real. You have to. But I am so tired of seeing our people out here fighting over each other. Women fighting each other, stabbing each other over something that's not even yours. The girlfriend's mad at the wife. Why? You mad at the wife. I had a girlfriend who went through a situation that she's married, but the girlfriend knocked on her door and said, hey, your husband and my boyfriend are cheating with the girl up the street. But guess what? The husband is her boyfriend. Isn't that? I mean, she was really bold to even knock on her door and say, your husband and my boyfriend is cheating with the girl up the street. And I just came to let you know.
Hold just 1 minute.
But it's real. I'm so serious. Stop, ladies, men, please stop. Debbie Jones, she said, this is good information. Keep a good line of communication. What's a relationship? What's a relationship without communication? And that's true. And the sad part I can say about that, Ms. Jones, people say they want communication, but everyone doesn't want communication. They really don't. They say it, but they're not really communicating. Some people are like, yeah, hey, I want this, but when it's time to communicate, you're nagging. This is crazy. You're saying things, blah, blah, blah. This is what you get. And it's sad because I love the fact of a great communicator. I do. We have someone on the lines. Hey, who do I have with me?
This is your handsome husband, Dr. Danny Flanagan.
Of course it is.
I'm only agreeing with what you said about me being handsome. Marcus, stop the sound effects, please. Stop the sound effects. First of all, I want to say this is an amazing topic. I don't know why I always have to break the ice because nobody wants to call and keep it real. But, honey, I'm always going to push the envelope. Now, I'm speaking from a perspective of when I did not know better. So let me just preface what I'm getting ready to say by saying that first. Before I knew better, okay? Because a lot of people, the apostle, the man of God, before I knew better. And we all know that when you know better, you do better.
You do better, absolutely, absolutely.
But what I found when I was going through divorce and I was separated and I was trying to date, of course, prior to you, my awesome and amazing wife, women were infatuated. Women were infatuated and excited about the idea of a tailor-made man who was made already into a husband. In other words, we've been a husband, so we know the role of a husband. So there was not a whole lot of training that the woman had to do because we came already knowing, our role, whether good or bad. They just love the idea that we were husbands, and they like the idea that, he must know how to be one. But the problem is men can be so convincing and allowing the woman to know that, hey, we're going to leave the spot, we're separating, we're going to leave the home and all of these other things, that they are so excited about the fact that there's this ready-made husband about to come into their lives that they don't take the time to process and allow the man to go through the separation process, go through the divorce, and also be healed. And I found that there were a lot of women when I was going through divorce and dating while separated where they did not give time for the man to heal. Because as men, I might lose my man card for this, but as men, we have to heal as well. And I'm solidified in my masculinity where I can say that we do need to be healed, and as a man. But the women were so excited about, here comes a man who was a husband. He's broken in. He knows what to do. He knows how to pay the bills. They connected to us, and we were still broken and not healed. And I think that this is a great subject, not just because, quote unquote, it's wrong in God's eyes because you're still married, but from the standpoint of you're still bruised. And so you're bringing a bruised man into your world. And I think that we have to be careful of that. That's my statement. Absolutely.
Absolutely. But I will say to that, yes, there are hungry women. There are some thirsty women, very thirsty. And I'm not calling all, I just said some, and they know who they are. I don't know who you are, but I have met a few. But sometimes, yes, men, I hate to say this, man, but you do tend to be a tad bit weak when it comes to women. You do, because guess what? You don't know the games that women play. We know, women know women. We know when someone else is checking out our husband. Someone could be sitting right next to you, checking out your husband, and you know them. It could be his so-called fake play sister. I don't play the play sister thing. I don't do that. I'm sorry. But my thing is that sometimes men, they turn a blind eye to some things, knowing that someone likes them, but they be like, huh? What? What do you mean? I didn't know she liked me. What? Huh? And women too. What? I didn't pay him no attention. I wasn't even looking at him. But but you turn a blind eye to it, and then turn around days later, she may be hitting you up, or you may be hitting her up because you know. And then the conversation started off so fake. I'm just not happy at home. I just wish things was different. And you know what she said? Oh my goodness, if that was me, you wouldn't have to worry about nothing. I will cook for you, wash your clothes. You would never have to worry about anything. That's how it starts. Right. Because you go and complain to the wrong people. Right. But that's not the point I'm making. The point that I'm making is, you guys are weak. I'm sorry. Sometimes y'all can't be a tad bit. That's not the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making is people are dating and connecting while separated, and they're not giving space to heal. I'm not talking about being weak or playing games. Well, how come the man can't give himself time to heal? Why does he don't have to jump into anything? Men or women, they can jump themselves in and heal themselves without going into anything, correct? Yeah, that's correct. But some people are emotionally, they have emotional crutches. So I get it, baby. You're right. So if you've been with somebody for 20 years. I'm sorry, baby. And then I have another call too. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to cut you off, but I have another call, baby. You're right, baby. I had to start it off. You know me. I got to start. Okay, I know. You open the windows for everybody else to start pouring in, but I got to let you go. Love you. Mwah. All right, baby. Love you. Who do I have on the line?
Good evening, Lady Lisa. This is Elder White.
Hello, Elder White. How are you?
Pretty good. How is everything? I don't mean to... My God, this is a great topic. You see that? Such a great topic. Real quick, I'm experiencing that right now, where there's a particular young lady who is in ministry, an elder, and the way she calls my name, hey, Pastor White. Oh my God, it takes my wife to a whole nother place, and you know who my wife is. It takes her to a whole nother place, and it's not so much that she calls my name, it's how she says it. And my wife tells me there is a motive behind it. And I'm just, we as men, we're like, man, listen, we're not even operating from that space, from that place, because we know we have so much connected to us, our home, our children, our jobs, our family. We're not going to risk that. Real men are not going to risk that. But then my wife is not looking at so much me risking any of it. She's looking at it from the fact that I'm a woman, and she said it to me, I'm a woman, I know what women do, and she has a motive. I'm like, and so I absolutely, as a man, concur 100% with what you just said, and that's my comment for today.
Thank you. I have another caller on the line. Who am I speaking with?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, this is your mother-in-law, Pastor.
Hello, Mother.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine.
Your
great
words
show,
of
great
wisdom
topic. Now, let me say this, because I've been married for 41 years, and I know that marriage is work, relationship is work, and I'm sorry, I always said a woman does not want a man until another woman has
absolutely
made him
I agree with you 100%.
the person that he is, because me and my husband, we met in junior high school. He wasn't a man. We were teenagers. So over the years, we groomed each other. He had in place what I needed, and I have in place what he needs. But just to say this, women were made differently by God.
Yes.
If you look at Adam and you look at Eve,
absolutely.
you see how cunning Eve is. And men, you know, I love my husband. Sometimes they're just clueless.
Yes, they are.
When it comes to certain things. And I'm not saying that they're weak, but I'm just saying that sometimes they let their emotions and their bodies get into the way of their thinking.
And you're so right. And so correct.
Then and then there's a lot that's going on that they're just clueless about. We know that women most of the time mature faster than men or young men. So there is I'm not going to say an imbalance, but there are differences between the two agendas. So even in relationships and dealing with dating someone else, sometimes we just allow them women just to lead them on.
Yes.
I've known people who were in relationships that they said, and I've talked to people because in my place in ministry, I've counseled people where men have said, I've never told her that I was leaving my wife, but yet you wanted to be with him for years.
Yes, exactly.
There's another woman that wanted to be with a man for years when he said, I never told her I was leaving my wife. So why did you stick around? Now you're mad at him because he's still with his wife. He never separated. He's been with his wife all the time. You were just the other woman.
Exactly.
So, come on, let's wake up. Let's wake up and use some common sense. Let's be responsible about ourselves, our bodies. Let's stop manipulating men.
Yes,
men stop manipulating women.
Yes.
Let's get it together, because this is not what God intended us to do together as man and wife.
You're right. Absolutely right.
As husband and wife.
Absolutely right.
But we're living in this day and time where I can have who I want, and they go after what they want.
They do, and they're bold with it.
Crazy.
They're very bold with it.
Bold, and like you said, we got to learn how to conserve ourselves, our bodies, our minds. There's so much more that God has intended for us than to just be worrying about a relationship with. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a healthy relationship with a man, but if you decided to be with that man or that woman, I'm not saying things will go wrong. Here we are, we as people of color, we don't take the time that when we have issues to really seek help.
Absolutely.
We don't go to professional marriage counselors and seek help.
And you should. But some people, I've heard men say, and this is not, I don't know, women could have said it too. It's just that men that I've heard, I'm not going to go to therapy because I'm not going to have nobody tell me how I'm going to be in my relationship. And it's sad because that means you don't want the help.
You don't want the help. I don't want anybody to know my business.
Right.
Business?
So to me, you rather see your relationship fail, because that's what's going to happen when a woman gets fed up. It will fail.
Exactly. Right. But like all I want to say is that in my closing is that we women, we men need to really get it together with relationships. How can we say we want to have a great relationship with the Father without God?
Yes.
And that's supposed to be the ultimate relationship. And we can't have a decent relationship here on earth with one another.
Absolutely.
Sisters,
Absolutely.
brothers, husband and wives. And on that note, I'm done. Bless you.
Thank you, Mom. And she's correct. See, if to me, I've always said in a relationship, look at the relationship he has with God and look at the relationship he has with his mom. If he has respect, 9 times out of 10, if a man have respect for his mother, he's going to have respect for his woman, because that's where it starts, the love that the mother gives. And also if you don't have that, guess what? It's a possibility that you may not make it. If you don't have that relationship with God and y'all come together, you may not make it. And I pray that each and every one of us have that connection and relationship with God. That's your strength. That's when you fall weak and short. That's where you run to. When you start recognizing that other women or other men are showing you that much attention, hey, guess what? You should stay away from those people. Stay away from them. If you know that someone, Susie or Bob, has a crush on you, and every time they see you, hey, how you doing? How are you? Come on, you know what his intentions are. He likes you. He likes the way you look. Every time you turn around, he's right there. Every time he turns around, she's right there. And you guys always turn blind eyes to things that they know is there. You have to stop doing it. Correct it. If you want out, be out. If you want to stay in your marriage, focus on your marriage. Women, leave the married men alone. And men, you should leave the married women alone. Because you know what? I'm sick of hearing, oh, you can't have friends. Yeah, I have a friend. He's my best friend. I don't need any more friends, because that's what you hear. Oh, your husband won't let you have friends. It's just dinner. Really? Come on, dude. Would you want your wife to have just friends that can go out to dinner? I had a conversation where I used to, a couple of people I used to hang out with. And guess what they would say? Oh, I love my wife. I love my wife. I would never let go of my wife. But they are okay with them having their affairs on the side, which is sad. And I asked them, so how would you feel if she was doing the same thing that you're doing? How would you feel? And yes, Mom, you are correct. I'm not really saying all men are weak, but some men do turn a blind eye when they see a bad female trying to give them attention. They do turn weak. Some of you can handle it. Some of you can be like, okay, she nice looking, but so is my wife. And same thing, ladies. Okay, yeah, he's cool, but so is my husband. Looks aren't everything. Love yourself, love your home, love God first, and let everything else fall into place. You have to do these things. If you do not do this in order, guess what? You're going to have a hard time. You are going to really have a hard time. My cousin says, Apostle hit it on the nail on the head when he said, when you know better, you'll do better. Absolutely. Absolutely. And same thing with Joe. He says, if you done that, mean you are done. Don't come back. When you're done, okay, don't come back. My husband, the reality is separation does not mean divorce. We have to understand that you are still married. Absolutely. Absolutely. Pastor Coker. Yes. My mama, welcome to Sierra Leone 2022. Absolutely. We will be there. We will definitely be there. We are very, very excited about this. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. That's going to be a wonderful adventure there. I can't wait till we get there. I love them. They are our family in West Africa. I love them. They are awesome. I love their humbleness. I love their spirit. But moving forward, we have to do better. Like Mom said, we have to do better to respect one another. Because guess what? It's going to come a time that you're going to want to get married too. And you know what? What comes around goes around. I'm a firm believer you reap what you sow. I really, really believe that. You do. So, ladies, gentlemen, let's do better. Let's start showing each other that we care, that we can love one another. Because this doesn't happen to everybody. It does happen a lot in our culture, which is sad. Because all you see is young girls dying, women dying, men getting shot. I knew a couple that broke up. And guess what? They broke up and she killed him. She shot him. I never knew that we were together all the time and never knew that was in her. So you never know the person until you do something to hurt them and you break them, because he wanted to leave her, but she shot him and then shot herself.
It was a tragic, and I couldn't believe it because we were together every day, and I never knew that this part was in her. But see, that's the thing. You never know the damage you can cause a person. You never know. You can sit up here and you can just thinking that everything's okay, but never know where a person will snap. And there are people out here that will snap when you least expect it. The nicest person, because we have a tendency of judging a book by its cover and not knowing how a person can really be on the inside. And you don't know how much you have already hurt them. So many times you could have just damaged them and hurt them, and you don't know what they've been through in the past. And then here you come adding on to what they've already been through in the past. Stop it. Ladies, stop flirting. Elder White, when you said the lady was like, hey, Pastor White or Elder White, it's the way she said it. And it's very disrespectful. Like I said, women know women. You may not think there's no harm into that, but there is. And it's very disrespectful. You should never walk around saying, hey, Pastor, hey, come on, stop it. No, that shouldn't even come out of a woman's mouth. That's a level of disrespect to your wife. And you sometimes, men, you have to correct these things. Hey, it's Elder White to you, or it's Pastor White to you. It's not no, hey, it's how you doing, Pastor White? How are you? God bless you, Pastor White. That's what she should have been saying. You don't sit up and turn around and start having, because once you allow that to happen, guess what? She's going to continue to do that. And all that's going to do is bring anger into your household. Your wife is going to be mad. And then next thing you know, boom, we have another caller on the line. Who am I speaking with?
It's your husband. It's Dr. Flanagan. I'm not going to be too long. Elder White brought up a good scenario. And I just wanted to ask your opinion and the opinion of women. Mm-hmm. He said that the woman was saying, hey, Elder, or hey, Pastor, in a disrespectful way. Mm-hmm. Now, he can't control what comes out of her mouth, right? Mm-hmm. So mm-hmm. he don't know her or whatever the case may be. So she's saying, hey, Pastor, or whatever the case. He didn't know she was going to do that. How does he handle that moving forward so that his wife won't feel that kind of way? Because Elder White, I'm sure, is innocent. I'm sure he did not prompt mm-hmm. that. I'm sure absolutely. He's not doing anything. So my thing is, if a woman is being disrespectful, because we always talk about disrespectful men, but when there mm-hmm. are women that are disrespectful, like this woman who was, definitely calling him, hey, or whatever mm-hmm. the case may be, mm-hmm. how should he handle that? Or how should men handle that? Because a lot of times, wives, not saying you, baby, hallelujah, mm-hmm. but there are a lot of women, a lot of wives who look at that and they immediately say, well, what are you saying to her? What are you doing to make her, come at you like that? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. How do you address that there are just some disrespectful females? He's in church. He can't control the way that she's doing that. So mm-hmm. what should his next steps be?
Well, if it was me and I heard her say this is just me. I'm not saying everyone should do this. I am my own person. But when she said, hey, Pastor, I'm like, hey, so-and-so, I would have jumped in and said something to her. Because did she speak to me? Maybe she didn't speak to Shannon. Maybe she just spoke to Pastor. Mm-hmm. I don't know the situation mm-hmm. overall. I don't. But only thing he could do was just, say, hello, here's my wife, Shannon, and just made her basically speak to her. And if she chose not to, and next time around, then he will have to just correct it. Because it's disrespectful if you speak to the husband and not the wife.
Right.
Like I said, okay. But we don't know. I don't know the whole entire situation. I don't know. I'm not going to say that he made her feel that comfortable that she could come out to him like that, because I don't know. I'm only speaking hypothetically, so I don't know the whole situation unless, if we had time for him to tell us how their dialogue goes throughout the days or whatever. But right now we don't know. We can only speculate and assume that she's this way. Yeah. So, no, I don't know. Angie said,
there are a lot of history.
I'm sorry, our cousin. I'm sorry, honey, but our cousin hit her in the gut and the neck. That's how you handle it.
But the fact is, there are a lot of disrespectful women out there, just as much as there are disrespectful men. So I just wanted to know in that scenario. Thank you, baby. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, baby. Let me make something clear. When I say man or men, sometimes I'm saying one man, meaning all of us, not just one particular
species. So I'm just not gonna call y'all species, but I'm just saying, I'm not just speaking on just men. When I say men or man, I'm speaking on men, women. So it's all of us, not just a particular, it's just not just the men. It's all of us. Because there are some women out here who are just as bad as the men. They are. And there are some men who think they got game. And let me tell you something, married men, and some women, your game is not that tight. You get away with certain things because we allow you to. We know what you're doing. But some women just don't care because guess what? They may be doing their own thing. So you have to be careful with that too. Seriously, you do. You have to be very, very careful because there's a lot of women who can play it way better than the man. Men, you storm out, get mad, and leave the house. She's not going to care because she's not chasing you. Because sometimes it's sad to say it, but it's true. It's just real talk. Because guess what? I know people that's like that. That's why I can say it's real talk. Some women don't care about it. They don't. So they don't want to check your phone. They don't care that your phone ringing all hours of the night. They don't care. Because guess what? They don't want you checking theirs either. They don't. Because the moment you say, hey, who's that calling you? Guess what? You're like, well, who's calling you? We have a caller on the line. Who am I speaking with?
Hello, Lady Lisa. This is your cousin Angie.
Hello, my cousin Angie. Oh my gosh. The gut puncher.
If I may, I want to go back to the dating while separated, where I understand that separation does not mean you're no longer married. Let's just put this out here that every marriage is not a marriage that's ordained by God. True. And I say that because, there's the legal marriage, and then there's the marriage ordained by God. And when you're ordained by God, I think you should really, stray away from dating until you see what God has planned and in store for you and your marriage, because it could possibly be, reconciled, so on and so forth. And when you have a legal marriage and you're married to the devil, okay, and he's fighting you every step of the way. I heard you comment that you did what you needed to do to get divorced. And I can just say for me, my hand is raised here that I fought for divorce for like 2 years or so because the devil was not doing what, he didn't want to release me. However, is it fair for man or woman that's in that type of situation to not live his or her life as long as they are upfront with the individual that they may encounter and let them know? Because I really believe it's a difference. When you're fighting tooth and nail to get out of something, you have no intentions on going back. And until the courts allow you a date and so on and so forth, this pandemic, it kept me going for a long time. Should I have put my life on hold and not date because the devil didn't want to sign the papers?
Okay. So let's say, okay, I hear what you're saying. And yes, if he's fighting or she's fighting you and not trying to sign the papers just because it's a control thing, because some people are like that. It's all about control, not letting you move on, but they moved on while they're still married. But again, sometimes we marry people that God did not put us with. And sometimes those are the things that you have to suffer for not waiting. So my thing is this: if he don't want to release you and you started dating someone and you can prove that you're filing divorce papers and they are in the system, that's up to you and him to go that direction. I can't say you shouldn't, but for me, marriage is marriage. That's just how I feel about that. But you have a choice. If you bring that to him, to the guy that you want to date, and he's pursuing you, and you can prove your point, hey, I filed divorce, because it does start in your heart. If in your heart you are divorced, then you're divorced. But you have to be honest. And I know a lot of people who are not honest. They say they're divorced, or they say they're separated. We're going to file for a divorce. 5 years later, he's still not divorced. And like Mom said, there are some people who will say, I never said I was leaving my wife. And that's true, because there are men like that. But for you, because you filed, and I already know your story, you filed several times because of technicalities, and we already know the story. But that wasn't your doing. That was the court's doing, and part of it was your husband's doing, ex-husband's doing. So every situation is different. Every situation is different.
I just wanted to put that out there because I am, I like to be upfront and honest, and someone may be listening or watching the show who could have been going through something like me, whether it's man or woman, and I don't want them to feel condemned or think they have to stay and put their life on hold, because there are some things that the world is the world. We are of Christ, but we live here in the world, and everything is not going to work in order of the Christian order. However, everybody knows this story, and you know people. People. Seriously, when people say I'm separated, but yet you still can't find them. There's a big difference, and I think everything is not just always so cut and dry as to you're still married.
Of course not. Of course not.
I don't. That's just my personal opinion.
Okay, but thank you for calling. But I'm going to just say to this: we know right from wrong. Yes. And no, everything is not going to be cookie cutter, or we can't just jump out here and do this and do that. But at the end of the day, you still have to fix whatever issues and problems that are there. To me, I feel like before you really, this, like I said, that's everyone's situation is different. I can't tell you how to be. It's just a topic that I just felt that needed to be had. Everyone who's going through certain things in life by dating a married person, I can't tell you what to do, but we have another caller on the line. Who am I speaking with?
This is Erica.
Hi, Erica. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm sitting and I'm listening in. And, I wanted to ask, and I hope I'm not ruffling feathers, but then again, I hope I am, if what we are saying and if what we are imparting into women and men, is this under the auspices of godly counsel, or are we just kind of talking from our own experience and giving recommendations? Because, there are some guidelines that, God gives us in terms of
absolutely
things, and then there is our way of trying to handle certain things, and Lady Lisa, you know as well as myself that the Bible kind of encourages us as women to make sure that we are instructing younger women and other women in the ways of the Lord, so that they're able to kind of grow in the things of the Lord. I would say to the young lady who called in, to kind of say, is it okay to date, while separated? I would say that the Bible does not encourage that. Why doesn't it encourage? Because still married. So, it's unfortunate that we go through these things that, when, we are hooked up with people sometimes when we're young that are not right for us. God gives us free choice, right? So we made those choices to say yes to those things. And so, I believe that sometimes the enemy would have us to believe that, that it's okay to do the same things as the world. But if this is godly,
you're right.
If this is godly counsel that we're given, then we're called to be separated. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We are doing differently than the things that the world would do. And so the world would say, hey, it's okay to date, while separated. But the actuality is, if you're dating while separated, you are participating in sexual sins, then you're committing adultery. So no,
absolutely,
it's not.
Absolutely. But like you said, to me, thank you. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I couldn't hardly hear you. Were you done with your call? Because I wanted.
No, I was listening to what you were saying.
I agree with you, because if we look at it that way, we cannot step out. And like you said, it would be adultery, which we will be committing. And I think that's the key right there. So that's why this is why I'm saying you have to to file for a divorce. You have to be legally divorced. It's not out. Yes, it's your fault that you chose the monster that you chose to date, meaning anyone, not just the call. I'm not talking about the call. I'm talking about anyone. Sometimes who you're marrying. Sometimes that person is an open book and show you exactly who they are. And they're not godly. They're not going to have your back with anything. You know certain things about these people, but yet you still chose them. It's just real.
Yesterday, Lady Lisa, if you will, I listened to a testimony of a mother of the church, and she said that, she was married to her husband for 23 years, and she came in the house, and she told us that when she came in the house, he was in there with another woman.
Wow.
And had to, make the decision of what to do. And she said, and, she got counsel from people that say, oh, you should bust him upside his head. You should do this. You should walk out, but that's not what God was calling her to do. He didn't call her to stay with him, but he called her to pray. He called her to pray. He called her to examine herself and to examine the things that were within herself so that she could go about the situation in a different manner. And she said that she told the woman, she said, this is the last time that you're coming in my house. She said she didn't realize that he was going to die. She said, but he died after. And so it wasn't that, God meant her to be in this nasty situation, but while she was working on the things that God wanted her to deal with herself, then he was working out things. So, I just want to close, and I'll get off of your line by just kind of making sure, too, that I mentioned that, we're remembering that as women of God, as First Lady, as, missionaries and things, that we're called to be an example to young people. We're to be examples to married women, other women. And so what that witness looks like for us is that, hey, maybe we can't do, certain things, that the world does, that we can't be portrayed the same way as the world does. Because when we get on forums like this to kind of share certain things.
Absolutely. You're correct. You're correct 100%. And I thank you for your call. I really do. I appreciate everything you just said because you're correct. You're 100% correct. And okay, my husband said, we should be moving under godly. I can't see. Oh, my thing blinked out. My screen blinked out. What did he say? I can't even see it.
Okay, so he's saying we should not be driven by our emotions and ignoring God's law, purpose, and plan. We don't operate like the world. We don't operate
like the world. That's correct. We shouldn't.
So,
we shouldn't.
Yes,
absolutely.
Right.
And Keith White, Elder White, there's a difference between a soulmate and a soul type. And that's true because there are a lot of types that people, I'm used to this type of guy. I'm used to that type of guy. And guess what? And sometimes that type of guy that you're choosing for yourself, it just doesn't work. You wait on God. Men, women, wait on God.
That's right. Women need to be interested in God's type. And so while they are separated, they should be separated and seeking God for what he would have them to do next. Not separated and thirsty, not separated and dating, but separated and seeking God for next steps. So that I heard God say that so the next time that you have this opportunity that you won't make this decision, you won't get yourself wrapped up in this same situation again. So again, just encouraging always to give this godly counsel because people need to hear the word.
Absolutely. And I thank you for your call. I thank you so much for your call.
God bless you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Going forward, ladies, gentlemen, we have to do better. That's all I'm going to say on this. Like I said, I'm not the one to tell you how to live your life, but if you are walking that walk, you have to start living by what God has for you. It's just that simple. You can't make your own mind up on what you think is best. You just can't. So with that being said, I am closing out. That is my time. Join me next week with my husband, my handsome husband, Dr. Danny Flanagan, with Big Facts. Dr. Danny Flanagan, Big Facts. Dr. Dan. I'm just doing my own little intro. I always wanted to dance to that, but he wouldn't let me. So, but we will be here on, I believe it's August 30th. And our topic, if I'm not mistaken, honey, correct me if I'm wrong, how to keep your relationship, as you call it, lit, hot, spicy, keeping it on fire. So that would be our topic for next week. And, I mean, no, it's the 30th. It's next week is the 30th, right, Marcus? Am I right? The 30th is next week.
Hold on, I'm checking now.
Yeah, I want to say that it is. I think it's August 30th next week. But that will be the topic of our relationship. Big facts and bigger facts. Join together August 30th, 7:00 p.m. Join us. Now, if I want to ask you to keep this going, to keep my segments going, please feel free to donate to Futures World. Futures World Cash App. Yes, Cash App. My Futures World Cash App. I don't even know what it is. That's so sad. What is it, honey?
Futures World with capital F.
Yes, that's what it is.
Capital F UTURES capital W.
Yes.
ORLD. You can see it on the screen right now.
Thank you, because I sure couldn't see it because my screen is really gone. So I couldn't see it. But I thank you, each and every one of you. I love you guys so much. This has been an awesome topic, and I hope that it helped some of us, some of you. Like I said, this is not a show about judgment. It's just topics that need to be had. And I feel like all of us across the world can help someone. And I pray that we have helped someone on here. If not, share it with someone. Please continue. You can tell them to go back and watch it because it'll be right there on Facebook. So I thank you and I love you and I appreciate each and every one of you. God bless you. Stay safe. This is Lisa Flanagan with Bigger Facts. I love you too, baby.
You're now listening to It's the Bigger Facts Show. It's the Bigger Facts Show. It's the Bigger Facts. The Bigger Facts. It's the Bigger Facts Show. It's the Bigger Facts Show. It's the Bigger Facts Show. Bigger Facts. It's the Bigger Facts.